Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Welcome to Shri Shri Radha Vinodi Hari Mandir, Gopinath Bhavan, Shri Vrindavan Dham.
Jai Ho.
Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Panaka Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Pati Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai, Radha Vinodi Hari Ju ki jai, Radha Ramana Ju ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Hari Nam Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrind ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Ho. We'll be starting with Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, Sri Gaudiya Giti Guccha. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yupapada Kamalam Vande. Do you need to close that one?
No, it just doesn't look very nice, but it's fine.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yupapada Kamalam Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Namine Shri Krishna Leela Katane Sudaksham Odarya Madhurya Gunayishtayuktam Varam Varenyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tvam Shirasha Namami Tridanginam Bhakta Shiromanim Shri Krishna Pada Jitaiva Vritti Chaitanya Leela Mrita Sarasar Narayanam Tvam Satatam Prapadye Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namah Vishnupadaya Gaurapreshthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Itti Namine Bhakti Charitraya Swashrikanam Chapaline Jiva Dukhe Sadartaya Shri Rama Premadayine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhari Devi Gaikaya Kripabhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhurya Ujjvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktira Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinakarine Rupanuga Nirudhapa Siddhanta Dvantaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambhara Sambodhe Padam Ujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Nirbhava Bhuvesvam Nirneshva Sadhana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavaganyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Te Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Bhakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jayatam Suratopambo Mama Mandamatirgati Vatsarvasvam Padamboja Radha Madanamohano Divyakrindaranykalpadrumada Srimad Ratnagara Sinhasanasva Shri Shri Radha Shri Govinda Deva Preshthadibhi Sevyamanusvarami Srimad Rasasaharambhi Vam Shivata Tatastitaha Karsham Me Musvanaya Gopi Gopinatha Shri Sunaha Vrindaye Tulasi Devyaye Priyaye Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupasvarupakam भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मसफलं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनं हरेर्नामेव केवलं कलो नास्त्येव नस्त्येव गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Can you give me that?
Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya. It's on page 32 and it begins with Gurudev Kripa Bindu, Krpabindu. And if you're new to the thread and you don't have a songbook, just scroll down to the last comment.
The most recent comment.
Okay, the most recent comment. And there you'll find Jiva Pavana Prabhu is very mercifully adding the kirtans and bhajans that we're singing so we can all sing together. So keep searching for that, and also sometimes you'll find that he posts different nectar, so keep searching. Thank you, Jiva Pavana Prabhu. Dhanyavad.
Thank you. Kripabinduniya Gurudeva Thakur Vaisnavapada, Avanir Susampada, page 38. Thakura, Vaishnava, Vaisnava, Pada, by Sri Narottam Das Thakur. 38.
Rama
it's just very fancy. I couldn't do it. Like,
Forgive me, it wasn't the tune that I planned to sing, so it just kind of came out.
Don't forgive him. It's just too fancy. Can you do Imana Durmati, or is that
After, yes.
Sunday Bhai Avaduta? It's in there. He's there.
Yes, I'm looking first for Rupa Goswami.
Wow. Dandavat Pranamo, Vaishnavas assembled.
Dandavat Pranam.
Everybody writes it. I can't.
Vishaya Vasana Rupa, 48.
Page.
Everyone's saying they what?
They're just saying Haribol, Dandavat Pranam, Radhe Radhe. So.
Goswami Prabhu ki jai, Srila Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Sudevi has requested Prabhu Hai Emona Burmati.
Page 66. Starts with Prabhu Hai Emona, E-M-O-N-A.
Bhagavatamrita Madhava bahut minati kari toy. So that is gonna leave. No? Okay. Page 144. By Sri Vidyapati. Madhava bahut minati kari toy. Radhe Jai Jai Madhava Jai Jai, page 341, I think. Namaha Sometimes the Tampura is a little intense. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnanatirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Nama Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayani Namine Nama Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate giring Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad, Astottara Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. In the same thousands of Dandavat Pranam in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad, Astottara Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and to our Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas past, present, and future, including all of you who are with us today, I offer my Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. According to your levels. We've been discussing this point in going beyond Vaikuntha, that one should offer appropriate respects according to the level of the Vaishnava. So I can't see your faces, so you know your qualifications, so please accept my Dandavat Pranam according to your levels. Today a very interesting conversation came up. The difference between Vrindaye Tulase Devai Priyaye Keshavasyacha Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi and Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namah. Now many of us have heard both. And actually when we're doing our Mangalacharan, we always say Krishna Bhakti, I realized. I don't even know if it's in the book that way, but that's how we've been saying it for years. Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namah. Where's it from? Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Oh, there's additional prayers. Oh, here it says in the book, Krishna Bhakti. But the original Vedic mantra, from what I understand, says Vishnu Bhakti. So, what's the difference? Why are we saying it? Why are we changing it? Technically, we should not change any Vedic mantra. That mantra is there for a reason. Many, many years ago, some people thought, who came first, Ram or Krishna? Well, according to our current timeline, we've seen that Ram appeared first in Treta Yuga, and then Krishna appeared in Dvapara Yuga. So let's swap the Mahamantra around and chant Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and then Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj traced this historical adjustment to Gita Press from Gorakhpur. That at one point, suddenly someone decided to flip the Mahamantra around. And the reasoning was because Ram came first before Krishna. Not understanding Tattva or Siddhanta or anything about Shastra, somebody made a major adjustment to the greatest mantra of all, Mahamantra. Let me just adjust this here. So really we should not adjust or change any Vedic mantras. And yet we see that sometimes from the bhav of any pure Vaishnava. For example, I was reading today from our Gurudev. When any Vaishnava, especially Rupanuga Vaishnava, sees any form of Lord Shiva, they only see or entertain the idea of Shiva as that aspect of Lord Shiva who can help us to attain our goal. So whether one is seeing Bhuteshwar Mahadev or Chakleshwar Mahadev or Lokanath Mahadev, one will see Gopishwar Mahadev. For Gopishwar Mahadev, then one can pray Vrindavana Vanipate Jaya Soma Soma Mole Sanaka Sanandana Sanatana Naradedya Gopishwara Braja Vilasi Unangri Padme Prema Prayacha. O Gopishwar Mahadev, you have the capacity to awaken praying for the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, the divine, youthful, playful couple. So please give me this, and therefore I'm offering pranam to you. Any other aspect of Lord Shiva might not be able to give that, but Gopishwar can awaken that, praying for the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. So according to one's bhav or mood, they will see things accordingly. Like in this prayer that we chant every day. Normally we say Om Ajnana Timirandhasya. Technically, it doesn't really have an Om before it. It should be Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Now our Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj asked some devotees, what does this prayer mean? Oh, my spiritual master has opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I was born in the darkest of ignorance. And Gurudev would say, have your eyes been opened? Are they open or are you still blind? They would have to admit their condition. And then he would say, you should apply that shlok to you from where you are now. Instead of saying my eyes have been opened, when they're not really open, then you will be cheating yourself. You should make it your prayer. When, oh when will that day come? When my eyes will be opened by my spiritual master, by that torchlight of transcendental knowledge. Actually, Jnananjana means the salve of knowledge, the anjan. Like kajal, what one smears on one's eyes. So, Jnananjana Shalakaya. This is Shalak. So, how one applies that verse, that might be a personal mood. For some, their eyes may be open. And for us, we might be going, my God, I am so blind. I cannot see and I cannot differentiate this way or that way. What is real and what is unreal? Oh my Gurudev, oh Vaishnavas, please be merciful to me and open my eyes. So we can pray like that. Even though the translation says one thing, still we are applying it to us practically. And that's important for devotees who want to progress on the path of bhakti. If we think we've already attained the goal, then we won't make any endeavor to attain the goal. We will become complacent, and stagnancy has no place in bhakti. Our Gurudev said, bhakti is bhagirati, a very forceful, flowing river. If we take a bucket of water out of that river and we keep it to the side and think, now I have captured bhakti, what will happen to your bucket of water? Over time, it will start to fester. So one must, instead of thinking that I'm taking that out of the river, we should dive into that river, drown ourselves in that river of love for Krishna. Drown oneself in the ocean, in the river of Gaura Prema Rasarnave, diving deep into the ocean of Gaura Prema, Se Tarange Jivadube, one will rise in the association of Radha Madhava in Vrindavan. Se Radha Madhava Antaranga. So from different perspectives, but if one is looking especially through the lens of our Rupanuga Guru Varga, then they will see everything in relation to their own Ishtadev, means my own worshipful Lord. Who is our Ishtadev? Those who are Rupanuga, their Ishtadev is Radha Krishna Kanjuga. So this is why I'm coming back to this point of Vrindaya Tulasidevaya Priyaya Keshavasyacha Krishna Bhakti or Vishnu Bhakti Radhe Devi Satyabhaktaya Namo Namah. The original verse is Vishnu Bhakti. So how do we apply that? We've been hearing that there are so many different ideas of what is Lakshmi. There are so many different ideas of what is Krishna. In the same way, there are so many different ideas of what is Vishnu. The name Vishnu means all-pervading, ever-expanding. So this Vishnu, being all-pervading or ever-expanding, also is not a different name or not a different meaning from Krishna. So Vishnu, you have Karanadakshaya Vishnu, who's lying in the causal ocean, breathing out universes and breathing in universes, unlimited universes, simply in his cosmic sleep. Then within every material universe, lying on the Garbhodak ocean, there's Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Anantashesha. Then within each universe is a special place known as Svetadvip, another form known as Kirodakshaya Vishnu, on the ocean of Kir or milk, is residing there. And Brahma prays to him when there's any difficulty in the material universe. He sends a message back to the heart of Brahma that very soon I will take my appearance in this world. So everyone should prepare yourselves. You should all take birth and prepare yourselves to assist me in my pastimes. And then he manifests in so many different forms. Vishnu Avatar, Matsya Kurma Varaha, Narasimha, Parshuram, all manifestations, unlimited manifestations. Vishnu is manifesting. So each of those forms can also be called Vishnu. They're non-different. And Srimad Narayan in Vaikuntha, and all of the unlimited forms which are similar to Narayan are also Vishnu. Then you have Krishna in Vrindavan. Well, he's also Vishnu. Vikriditam Rajavadu Viridam Cha Vishnum. We've been studying that verse. He's also Vishnu. That person whom everyone, all of the gopis are seeing that he is present everywhere. He's moving so fast between them that they see that he is with each of them. Millions and millions of gopis are seeing that Krishna is with me. So he's also Vishnu. And this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam is literally referring to Krishna in the Rasalila, and he's being referred to as Vishnu. Vikriditam Vrajavaduvir idam cha Vishnu. And then our Srila Gurudev, he said, who is all-pervading? That is Vishnu. So Krishna is all-pervading. Through all of his manifestations, he's the original origin of everything. Advaigyan Tattva Braje Brajendra Nandan. So even all of those Vishnu forms are part of Krishna's all-pervadingness. So Krishna is the original Vishnu. He's pervading everywhere, but something and someone is pervading his own heart. Our Srila Gurudev spoke. Who is that? Radhika Premera Guru Ami Shishyanata. She is my Guru of Prem. So she's a source of obsession for him, and he's meditating on her. Radha Chinta Nileshena Yasya Krantir Vilopita Shri Krishna Charanam Vande Radha Lingita Vigraham. Our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, he speaks about this in the Vinod Vihari Tattvashtakam. Being so absorbed in meditating on Srimati Radhika, really in deep obsession, absorption in her. Krishna himself sitting just next door to where we are, under that tree at Imlitala. It's the Imli tree or the tamarind tree. He was sitting there in separation and deep absorption from Srimati Radhika. And at that time, in such deep absorption, being so absorbed, it was as if he became fully embraced by her. Radha Alingita means fully embraced by her, fully covered. And he manifested a golden complexion, Vinod Bihari. This golden complexion, being so absorbed. And that is the prelude to manifestation of Sri Shachinandan Gaurahari. So that Krishna, that Srimati Radhika, who pervades the heart of even Krishna, she is also known as Vishnu, because you cannot separate the Shaktiman and Shakti. Shakti means the potency of. So how is he pervading everywhere? Through his potency. So you cannot separate the two. Radha is the complete Shakti, Krishna is the complete possessor of all Shakti, between these two transcendental personalities, Dvivastu Vedanai, there is no difference. Vedanai, no difference, according to all revealed scripture. So there's no difference between them. They are always together. You cannot separate Shakti and Shaktiman. There's no meaning to the sun without its heat and light. In the same way, there's no meaning to Krishna without Radhika, and there's no meaning to Radhika without Krishna. They're transcendental, eternal, codependent personalities. It means that she is his potency and he is the potent. But you cannot separate. There's no meaning to the potent without potency. And there's no meaning to potency without the potent. So for us, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, those who are coming in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Today I was reading the quote from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. He was explaining that those who are exclusive devotees of Krishna, they are known as Karshnas. Those who are exclusive devotees of Vishnu, they are known as Vaishnavas. Those who are exclusive devotees of Srimati Radhika, they are known as Gaudiyas. So we're Gaudiya Vaishnavas. What is a Gaudiya Vaishnava? It means Radha Krishna. So it's Krishna but leaning towards Srimati Radhika. This is the particular preference of those in the Rupa Nuga Guru Varga. Those who are coming in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Rupa Goswami, Rupa Nuga, they have this preference. So their worship of Krishna is Jai Jai Radha Krishna Yugala Milan. They're worshipping, glorifying which Vishnu? Radha Krishna conjugal, together. And therefore, when Radha and Krishna's prem takes a form, their prem murti comes as Sri Shachinandan Gaurahari, the form of their love and affection. Prem Purushottam Sri Shachinandan Gaurahari ki Jai. So coming back to this prayer, this Tulsi prayer, we say Vrindaye Tulasi Devyai Priyaye Keshavasya. The proper one, the Vedic mantra is Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namah. Now she can give bhakti to any form of Vishnu, but what particular aspect of Vishnu are we focusing on? Because our Gurudev said, and our Shastras say, and all of our Rupanuga Guru Varga have explained that in bhakti we should never be neutral, meaning even so many different Ishtadevs. We should not have so many different worshipful deities. If we want to attain perfection, we must be focused on one particular aspect. So if we're focusing equally on Ram and Nrsimha and Matsya and Narayan and Krishna in Vrindavan, then we're not really going to be able to make proper progress. Our Gurudev said there is no place for this neutrality. It's actually unfavorable to the development of ekantic or one-pointed bhakti, which is required for the attainment of perfection. So how or what aspect of Vishnu are we moving toward? In the Tulsi song, the Tulsi bhajan that we sing, there it is very specific. Our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, he wrote one also. There's a few, but the one that we grew up with, Radha Krishna Seva Pavo E Abhilashi. My only desire, Abhilash, is to engage in the loving service of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Right? Radha Krishna Seva Pavo E Abhilashi. And may I always swim in the love of Sri Sri Radha and Govinda. Sri Radha Govinda Preme Sada Yena Bhashi. So this aspect of Vishnu, Vishnu Bhakti Prade Devi. O Tulsi Maharani, if you can grant me anything, I am praying that you will grant me entrance into the groves of Sri Vrindavan Dham. So I will always be able to see Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Please give me the qualification to render service to Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Please give me the blessing that I may always completely saturate myself, drown in the ocean of Radha and Krishna's love, and please accept me and make me your own maidservant. Seva adhikara diye. Give me the qualification for seva. Koro nija dasi. Make me your maidservant. So all of this comes together very beautifully. Yes, how do we reconcile this? Vishnu and Krishna. But if we're praying to Vishnu, then how does it apply to us if we're going toward Radha Krishna? Which Vishnu? That Vishnu, the all-pervading origin of everything. Radha Krishna, that aspect. And we pray to Tulsi Maharani for that. So just with the bhajan itself, then the reconciliation comes. Because there's so many different ideas of Vishnu. Like our Gurudev was speaking in this Going Beyond Vaikuntha, there are so many different ideas of Lakshmi. So many different ideas. But which Lakshmi are we specifically focusing on? Chanchala Lakshmi, the money of this world? No. Mahalakshmi in Vaikuntha? For Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Rupanugas? No. We give honor, we give respect. But which Lakshmi are we focusing on? Sarva Lakshmi Mayi, the original Lakshmi, the source of all other Lakshmis, Sri Radha Thakurani. That is the Lakshmi we are focusing on. So everything our Guru Varga have given, especially our 6 Goswamis, what they have given is really a concentrated, condensed focus on a particular goal. And that particular goal has many different names. It can be called Rupanuga. But the goal of Rupanuga is Radha Dasyam. Or as our Gurudev would so affectionately say, I only want to be a maidservant of Srimati Radhika in the group of Lalita Sakhi under the guidance of Sri Rupa Manjari. That's our goal, our hope, our aspiration, our everything. So there it is clarified. Let me just check really quick and see if there are any questions so far. Well, so this is interesting. Before I go beyond Vaikuntha with you, Jiva Pavana Prabhu writes, well, everyone is above my level for sure. And this is a very common understanding, and most people should feel this way if they're actually feeling humility. As one is really, truly progressing on the path of bhakti, they will even feel themselves lower. We see Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. We see so many of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, and they are feeling themselves lower than the lowest. This is natural. As one is progressing in bhakti, their humility will also increase. Humility is synonymous with bhakti. So, this does not mean, however, and I'm going to mention it in terms of the verse by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Sri Shikshashtakam. Trinarapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. We understand, according to the definition of this verse. Sudevi? Is everything okay?
I'm just listening.
Okay. We understand, according to the definition of this verse, Trinarapi sunichena. The verse itself, word for word, will state that one should feel oneself, one should be more tolerant than a tree. One should feel oneself lower than a straw in the street. One should give all respect to others, and one should never expect any respect for themselves. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. And I know that I've spoken many times, so I'm just going to reiterate. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said about this verse, and this is another reason why we must always be under the guidance of Vaishnavas, otherwise we can become easily derailed. Why must we be under the guidance of Vaishnavas? Because by them we can understand the moods of what the Lord is giving, what Shastra is giving. They reconcile and remove doubts through the medium of Shastra and give us clarity and guidance. So he said this verse doesn't mean to be humble to everyone. Doesn't mean that one should feel oneself so low that they should also be humble to atheists, Mayavadis, antagonists, aparadhis, yes, you are right, I will accept your position. It does not mean that. It means that one should be humble to Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas. This is humility, to be humble to the truth, to be humble to Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas, not to express that humility in front of just everyone. It's not that we won't be respectful. Respectful is one thing. Humility, Vaishnava humility, is a function of transcendental humility. That mood that's in the heart of the great Vaishnava who is feeling themselves so low. When one is in their association, Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj explained that by being in the association of someone who is truly great, then one will naturally feel themselves low. So one will feel humble in the association of one who is truly great. And in the association of that great person, when they themselves are feeling low, then we will also feel ourselves even more. If they're feeling like that, what to speak of me? And yet, once one devotee said to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, I am the most fallen. And Srila Prabhupada responded to him because he was coming from the place of some kind of ego. Prabhupada responded, you are not the most anything. And I thought, wow, what a brilliant comeback. For a Vibhin Angsa Jiva, we cannot claim to be the most anything. We're simply the servants of Krishna, and we're meant to be utilized in the service of Krishna. So that concept, yes, we should feel ourselves very low, but we should apply that feeling of lowliness appropriately. In the same way that we should honor Vaishnavas according to their levels. Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshashti chet pranati bhishta bhajantam yesham shushrushaya bhajana vidyamananyamanya nindadi shunyam hridamitsita sangalabhya. That we should honor Vaishnavas according to their level. Whether they're Kanishta, Madhyam, or Uttam Vaishnava, we should have some understanding of the qualifications for those different levels. And we should also apply humility appropriately as well. Right? One should not give the same humility to any Kanishta Vaishnava that they would to the Uttama Vaishnava. That makes sense. Otherwise, you're not respecting them according to their levels. For the Uttam Vaishnava, that humility should manifest completely to the point where I'm submitting myself at their lotus feet. For the Madhya Vaishnava, that humility should manifest to the point where I will offer my Dandavat Pranam to them and give so much respect and honor. And for the Kanishta Vaishnava, then, because they have chanted the holy name, Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta, then one should give pranam within their mind. So this is the instruction of Srila Rupa Goswami, and our Srila Gurudev has been speaking on this point. I don't want to get into that conversation. I'll start competing with you on that point, so we'll leave it at that. So now we will continue going beyond Vaikuntha, which is the beautiful, one of the beautiful commentaries of our Srila Gurudev on the beautiful revelation, heart's revelation of Sri Sanatan Goswamipada, known as Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So before entering into this beautiful treasure, we will pray in the dust of their lotus feet, in the words of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Vairaga Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatnair Apayanam Mam Anubhikshamandam Kripam Budirya Paradukuduki Sanatanaspam Prabhum Ashrayami. Begging in the dust of their lotus feet that may even a particle of their moods, which are present within these pages, manifest within our hearts. I put the mic on the other side. Now it's blocking. So yesterday our Srila Gurudev was telling about the 5th verse of Amrita, Nectar of Instruction, which I just quoted, about how to honor Vaishnavas according to their levels. So Gurudev is saying here that we should also be somewhat careful how we are respecting. One must be expert how to navigate so that we don't offend Vaishnavas. We will not disrespect anyone. He's saying one devotee will criticize, we will disobey. One we will criticize, another we will disobey, another we will disrespect. Saving ourselves from this mentality, we should give appropriate respect to all and serve the advanced Rasik Vaishnava with love. Then Srila Gurudev continues with Yogamaya. Yogamaya is the name for Krishna's internal potency. In the highest perspective of Yogamaya, we will see that that is non-different from Srimati Radhika. But Yogamaya means his internal potency. There's external potency, known as Mahamaya, which is illusion. And internal potency, Yogamaya, which is Krishna's own desire manifesting immediately. Whatever thought or feeling or anything he has, by the power of his internal potency, immediately that desire is fulfilled. So therefore he is said to be Aptakam. He has no desire outside of himself. And he is always self-satisfied. Atma Aram. Because his internal potency means the moment any desire comes, that desire, everything is fulfilled naturally, spontaneously. And that is by his Yoga Maya potency. So she has so many forms, and we should never commit any offense to any of them. We should give them appropriate respect because they are the Shakti of Bhagavan. But we should not perform and give and take transactions with them. This should be the only taking. So now Gurudev is giving an instruction. We shouldn't have a give and take transaction with any of the forms of Yogamaya. Our only taking, the only thing we should accept. Please give your mercy to us so our enjoying spirit will go away. This is something that is very difficult for us to give up. This tendency to want to be the enjoyer. It's very difficult, and really we cannot give it up without grace, without mercy. So Gurudev is saying this should be our only prayer to Yogamaya. Please give your mercy to us so our enjoying spirit will go away. Otherwise, this bartering mentality will lead us into material enjoyment. It means I will give something to you, you will give something to me. This is like karma nishta bhakti, right? It's mixed with fruit of desire. So it's kind of like saying, Krishna, I promise I will chant 64 rounds a day for 1 month if you let me win the $64 million lottery, right? Then by that money, I will use it in your service. And then we end up using only 2% of it in the service of Krishna and the rest of it in our own material enjoyment. And it drags us, as our Guru Varga would say, will drag us to hell. So in this case, Gurudev is saying this bartering mentality will lead us into material enjoyment. That should be our prayer to them. Any Shakti of Bhagavan. Our prayer to them should be this. And toward our most worshipful goddesses, the gopis, we should have a mood of following and serving them. So there are so many different Shaktis of the Lord. So many different Shaktis. And we see that, especially in India, I mean, they've got, I think, a different demigod for every different family. They call it Kuldev. Kul means my school or my family. So they've got a different Deva or Devi for every family. Millions and millions of demigods, and they pray to that Deva or Devi for health and wealth and all kinds of material things. And they're all considered manifestations of Shakti. But praying for any material thing, this can be detrimental to one's progress in bhakti. If one really wants to progress in bhakti, then one should have this firm conviction and firm faith, Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kohe, Sudrida Nishchoy, Krishna Bhakti Koile, Sarvakarma Krita Hoy, that automatically by engaging in the processes of bhakti, or the process of bhakti, which has many different limbs to it, that naturally and automatically everything will be maintained. That I don't need to worry about anything else. That Krishna is my protector, Krishna is my maintainer. Rakshishyati Vishvaso Gotritve Varanam Tata. He's my protector and maintainer. I don't need to worry about anything. If I'm praying for material things, it means I don't really have faith that Krishna will just take care of anything, because I'm not applying the process of bhakti properly. So then I make plans. I have so many ideas. Oh, this is how I will maintain. This is how I will make money. This is how I will increase my income. This is how I will enjoy. And then we start, in essence, using Krishna or the process of bhakti in our own service. But really, bhakti is all about pleasing Krishna for his happiness, his pleasure, and his benefit without expecting anything else. That's why it says in the very beginning of the verse defining bhakti, Anya bhilashita shunyam. It is devoid of any other desire. Not karma, means not reward-seeking activity. Not gyan. Which gyan? The gyan which leads us to free ourselves from the dualities of the suffering and temporary happiness of this material world. To basically find ourselves in a state of unawareness of our own existence. Desire for that. It is devoid of that. Devoid of faith in any other process. It is only for Krishna's happiness, his pleasure, and his benefit, exclusively. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. Krishna Anushilanam. For him. Without expectation for anything in return. And this is a difficult idea for a conditioned soul to comprehend, because all we have ever known until now is trying to satisfy our senses. Eating, sleeping, mating, and protecting oneself, defending. This is what we've been doing in samsara since forever, through millions of different species of life. Jalajana valakshani stavara laksha vinshati krimayo rudra sankyakya pakshina dashalakshanam tringsha lakshani pashava chakchu chatur lakshani manushaha. 8,400,000 different species of life, cycling through again and again, doing the same thing. As I mentioned yesterday, again and again chewing that thing which we have already chewed before. As Prahlad Maharaj said, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. And now we've come to this rare human form of life, which affords us the opportunity to make a choice to stay in this cycle or to get out. That's the valuable opportunity which the human life affords. So Srimad Bhagavatam tells us, until this body, human form, is no longer able to be maintained, until that point when it drops, one should utilize every moment in the endeavor for perfection, because only from the human form can we actually make that endeavor. So we're so fortunate. Forget any material treasure. We have the greatest treasure that could possibly be imagined. It is said that even demigods are waiting in line to take birth at this time, in this Kali Yuga, to take advantage of the great mercy that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given at this time. That simply, Kirtanareva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Paramrajat, simply through chanting the holy names of Krishna, one can attain the highest perfection. Amazing, isn't it? So they're also waiting to take birth in human forms to take advantage of the opportunity that each one of us has been given right now. So Srila Gurudev continues, in some places, this potency of Bhagavan is known as Mahavibhuti. In some places as Yogamaya. Mahavibhuti means great opulence or great wealth, a great treasure. In some places as Yogamaya, and in some places as Atma Maya. In Bhagavad Gita we find the words Sambhavam Yatma Mayaya. I incarnate by my internal energy. What is the meaning of Atma Maya? That potency of Bhagavan in his natural form. Where does this Atma Maya come from? Who is its root? So Atma Maya means that potency of Bhagavan in his natural form. Where does it come from? Atma Maya means the internal, from myself, Atma. Who is its root? Alright, 50 points for anyone who can guess. Who is the root of this Om Atma Maya? I know, that sounds like Karma Mishra Bhakti, doesn't it? 50 points. It's okay. Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj was given a toffee or any candy for every shlok he would learn by our Param Gurudev. And he learned a lot of verses. So, sometimes a little bit of motivation is necessary, like we told to Krishna Dasi Katie yesterday. A little bit of motivation. Okay. Who is that? What is the root of this Atma Maya? Srimati Radhika. Of course Gurudev would say that. Gurudev has got a one-pointed mood, one-pointed mind. By the medium of this potency, Sat Chit Ananda, Bhagavan's enjoyment takes place. Sat Chit Ananda. We hear this in the verse. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha. So Krishna's form is composed of, Vigraha, is composed of Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means eternality, eternal existence, form itself. Chit means all knowledge, bhav, relationship, mood. And Ananda means bliss, pleasure, happiness, love. All divine, all transcendental. And the Adhishtatri Devata of Sat is Baladev Prabhu. Means the predominating deity of the Sandhini potency or the existence potency is Baladev Prabhu. The Adhishtatri Devata of this knowledge of relationship, mood, is Krishna. And the predominating deity of love, affection, happiness, bliss, prem, is Srimati Radhika. So our Gurudev explained that all three, Baladev, Krishna, Radhika, together are Satchit Ananda Vigraha, in the form of Krishna. So by the medium of this potency, Satchit Ananda, Bhagavan's enjoyment takes place. This Yogamaya potency is eternal, Nitya, factual, Satya, beginningless, Anadi, and unlimited, Ananta. It sounds like a verse from Brahma Samhita. Advaitam achuttam ananta rupam adyam purana purusham navayovanam cha vedeshu durlabham adurlabhamatma bhaktau govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. So here Gurudev is focusing on this Yoga Maya potency, the root of which is Srimati Radhika. Because there's something called Svarup Shakti. It's the original potency, Svarup Shakti, by which everything that we can conceive of has its source. And that Svarup Shakti is embodied also in the original Shakti or Srimati Radhika. So by the medium of this potency, Satchidananda, Bhagavan's enjoyment takes place. This Yogamaya potency took birth along with Krishna. So how can she be anadi or beginningless? So when Krishna manifests in this world, or Baladev Prabhu, or Srimati Radhika, or any of the eternal associates of the Lord, we should understand that it is their pastime manifestation. Just like if you were to fly from wherever you are to India, everyone would see, oh, look, you have appeared in Vrindavan. But you already existed before you came here. So Bhagavan, Krishna always exists. Srimati Radhika always exists. Baladev Prabhu always exists. Yogamaya always exists. All of the eternal associates of Krishna always exist. Vrindavan, Govardhan, Jamuna, all cows and everything, all of them always exist. When Krishna manifests in any Bhoma Vrindavan, or even in any other avatar, it appears that he has a beginning and then maybe an end. That there's a start of a pastime, he's a baby, he grows up, then at a certain point he disappears from this world. But we should understand that this is his pastime. That he's showing beautiful leelas for the pleasure of his devotees. But this doesn't mean that he is not eternal, ever existing. So Yogamaya is an eternal, ever-existing, transcendental, spiritual personality. Yet, when we see the pastimes of the Lord in this world, it appears that Krishna takes birth from the womb of Yashoda. And Yogamaya, this Yogamaya also has taken birth from the womb of Yashoda as her daughter. And Vasudeva Maharaj came from Mathura with his Mathura Krishna, who is an expansion of the original Krishna, who was born from the womb of Yashoda. He came with his Mathura Krishna, brought him on the order of Narayan, who then he manifested in the jail cell of Kamsa. Vasudeva Maharaj brought him there and exchanged him with the daughter of Yashoda, this Yogamaya. So here Gurudeva is saying, how can she be beginningless or anadi? Prior to her own birth, she arranged for Baladev Prabhu to appear as the seventh child in the womb of Devaki. And then she herself took birth from the womb of Yashoda later. So because she performed some activity before taking birth, she is eternal and is therefore known as Sanatani. So Yogamaya's other name is Sanatani. She performed some activity before taking birth. This Yogamaya is the one who increases bhajanananda, the happiness experienced by Krishna's servants. By doing bhajan, by constantly meditating on Krishna's names, forms, qualities, and pastimes, and serving Krishna, a natural kind of bliss manifests. This is bhajan ananda, the bliss or happiness from that service. This Yogamaya, taking the essence of the Hladini and Samvit potencies together, takes the devotee progressively through the stages of Shraddha, Bhav, Prem, and all the way up to Mahabhav. As if feeding the devotees milk, she nourishes them in so many ways, and she arranges for a soul who has attained perfection in sadhana to appear in the womb of a gopi. Srila Prabhupada writes, our Gurudev has explained, our Guru Varga have explained, our Shastras have explained, that the last and final birth that any jiva takes is that birth on any earthly planet where Krishna is performing his pastimes in Bhoma Vrindavan, from the womb of a gopi, where Krishna is. So we will be naturalized into Krishna's pastimes in that way, and then when Krishna winds up his lila, we wind up with him. We will continue wherever Krishna goes. So we won't have this idea that I don't belong, that I have come from somewhere else. Like we don't have now, wherever we're born to our parents in whatever country, and we feel, oh, I'm from this country, these are my parents. Most of us feel that way. These are my parents, this is my brothers and sisters and my friends, and this is my language and my food. It's just natural. So the very final birth that one takes is in any Bhoma Vrindavan, means earthly Vrindavan, and they will never have to take birth in the material world ever again. We cannot call that birth in this material world. It is birth in spiritual world, in Krishna's pastimes, when Krishna is present on this planet. When we say happy birthday to anyone, we sing happy birthday to you, and then of course we say may you never take birth again. Unless it's from the womb of a gopi, while Krishna is performing his pastimes on any earthly plane. Then that birth we will take. So we say may you never take any birth again, means any material birth, but that transcendental birth, yes. So here is a very interesting statement. This Yogamaya taking the essence of the Hladini and Samvit potencies together. Hladini means bliss. This is represented by Srimati Radhika. She is the predominating deity of this Hladini potency. So it means who gives happiness, pleasure to Krishna. Hlad, like Prahlad. Prahlad means who is giving pleasure to the Lord, who is pleasing the Lord. Prahlad. So Hladini Shakti is also a name for Srimati Radhika. She is Krishna's pleasure potency, by which he experiences happiness, bliss, pleasure, love, affection, and all of that. And Samvit, I already mentioned before. Samvit is bhav, relationship, mood, and like that. So sometimes there's an understanding or an idea that's being shared around that the jiva itself only possesses existence, sat. And then when Samvit and Hladini descend, then we begin to awaken our bhakti. However, our Guru Varga have explained, our Gurudev, our Srila Prabhupada, Goswamipada Maharaj, our Param Gurudev, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Thakur, and so many others. You can read that book, Swarupa of the Jiva. That everything is inherent within us. And in this case, I'm going to use a very simple example. A tree stands in the sun for years, and its leaves, through the process of photosynthesis, are receiving the energy of the sun, and by that it is pulling water from the ground and growing and becoming strong. Water and nutrients. So by the sun from above and by the water and nutrients from underneath, that tree is growing strong. But in essence, what is that tree getting its energy from? From the sun. So within that tree is contained the energy of that sun or fire. Although we cannot see it, when a proper process comes together, by the action of fire, what is inside that tree will awaken. And what is inside the tree? Fire is present there. It's only in an inactive state. But when there's enough heat applied to that tree, then what will happen? It will also catch, and the internal fire will grow and burn. In the same way, by the action of Samvit and Hladini, what is inside, because we also have this tendency to love, otherwise within this material world we would not express it. We also have the tendency toward relationship. Even animals, insects, ants, but bees, look at them. Every species of life has it within them already. It's already there. It's only being misapplied toward the material world. By the action of the transcendental potency, by the action of that transcendental Samvit and Hladini coming to us, that fire of bhakti, means the spiritual fire, is ignited, or you can say is dovetailed, is turned. Instead of toward the material energy, it becomes turned toward the spiritual energy. So for us, we require some spiritual connection from outside of ourselves. And that spiritual connection comes in the form of Guru, in the form of Vaisnavas, in the form of Prasadam, in the form of Harinam, in the form of transcendental literatures, in the form of Jamuna, Ganga, the Dham, so many different ways that transcendental energy is touching us, by which we will awaken our Krishna Seva Vasanam, the tendency, the inherent nature of loving and serving Krishna, which is already part of us. Otherwise, it could not be said that the intrinsic nature of all jivas is that they are an eternal servant of Krishna. Jivera Surupahoy Krishna Nityadas. Servitude is there. Service, das, is there. It's already present inherently within us. And it just needs to be awakened. So by the process of Sambit and Hladini, there's a very complex discussion that can go on, which we're not going to get into now. But by that, what is inside is awakened. It's not that something new is superimposed upon us and that we become something else. We've had this discussion many times. It's not that, okay, now we're going to zap you. The transcendental personalities are going to zap us and we're just dull matter or dull spiritual matter, some kind of divine jelly, so to speak, just a blank energy, and then something zaps us and then boom, oh, suddenly, oh, now I'm a gopi. Wait a second, I made a mistake, let me zap you again. Oh, right, I'm an insect in Vrindavan. Wait, no, you're a fruit. No, you're a tree. No, it's not like that. Everything is already present inherently within, and that guru who is a real tattvadarshi, who has the capacity to see and know the truth, can see the inherent nature of any jiva, as any expert gardener can see the inherent nature within any particular seed. And then they give the appropriate nourishment for that seed. This seed requires this much sunlight, this much water, this much shade, this much fertilizer, this much energy, this much care. It has to be pruned in this way and that way so that it will grow very nice and strong and healthy. But what is inside is already inside. And gradually by that care, by that association, by the mercy of Guru, by the mercy of Yogamaya, by the mercy of Krishna, by the mercy of Vaishnavas, by the mercy of all of the processes of bhakti, what is inside will begin to grow. Shraddha, Nishta, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhav, Prem. And then that thing which is inside, that love which has grown, will bind itself firmly to the lotus feet of Krishna, and from there it will manifest the fruits of Prem, Prem Phal. So let me just finish this point right here. Oh, I didn't see that, but anyhow, this is nice. This Yogamaya is the one who increases bhajanananda, the happiness experienced by Krishna's servants. This Yogamaya, taking the essence of the Hladini and Sambit potencies together, takes the devotee progressively through the stages of Shraddha, Bhav, Prem, and all the way up to Mahabhav. As if feeding the devotees milk, she nourishes them in so many ways, and she arranges for a soul who has attained perfection in sadhana to appear in the womb of a gopi. The personification of that Yogamaya, Purnamasi. So in Vrindavan, this same Yogamaya has a personification who is known as Purnamasi. She's like the grandmother of all of the Brajavasis, and she's also an expert astrologer. She's like the guru of all of the Brajavasis. Whatever she says, goes. And we'll find out more about that later. So the personification of that Yogamaya, Purnamasi, is the mother of Sandipani Muni and resides in Nandagram. So this Purnamasi resides in Nandagram. That is the place of Nanda Maharaj, and of course the palace of Nanda Maharaj on that mountain, Nandishwar Parvat. Nandishwar Parvat, yes. In many ways, Yogamaya increases. Here, Gurudeva is speaking about Yogamaya in the form of Purnamasi. Increases rasa, either by providing a stimulus or by personally doing so as Purnamasi. She increases Yashoda's Vatsalya rasa, her parental affection. She increases the cowherd boy's Sakya ras, and she increases the Dasya ras, or the Dasya bhav of those in that rasa. She enhances all of the rasas and nourishes all living entities. She is the mother of variegated bhajanananda. And if one doesn't take shelter of her, his bhakti cannot increase. So we can see from this perspective that Yogamaya in all of her various manifestations is essential, not only for us, not only for the aspiring devotees, but also for those who are present within Krishna's pastimes, and also for Krishna himself. By her arrangement, everything is going on because she is Krishna's internal potency. So she arranges for everything to take place. Even in the morning, she arranges for how Mangalarti takes place. She arranges for Kakati the monkey to start making noise, for the roosters to start crowing, for everything to take place, so that Krishna's pastimes run smoothly and she never makes any mistake. Shri Yogamaya Purnamasi Ki Jai. Is that a question? No. Oh. It's my card. Wow. Gurudev will continue tomorrow. Now?
Maybe now.
So before we do the kirtan, just in case I have said anything that anyone would take personally, please know that I have not said anything referring to anyone personally. If anything I have said has pinched anyone's heart, please forgive me. That was not my intention at all. And if I have said anything that is good, that is beneficial, you should know that that is by the mercy of Gurudev and the Vaishnavas. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to remember these beautiful teachings of our Gurudev and Guru Varga. महाराज की जय, रूपानुग गौरी गुरुवर की जय, प्रतिपावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय, प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम सच्चिदानंद गौर हरि की जय, राधा विनोद बिहारी जी की जय, राधा रमण जी की जय, गिरिराज महाराज की जय, हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि today and giving us the opportunity to remember the beautiful teachings of our Gurudev and our Guru Varga, and for engaging us in our Guru Seva. We look forward to being with all of you tomorrow and continuing the glories of Yogamaya as we are all going beyond Vaikuntha together. Jai. So Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Radhe
Radhe
Radhe, Radha Vino Bihari Ju ki
Jai.
Jai.
Hey Labang.
Radhe Radhe.